loved you. And in this commandment, you can and will fulfill all the commandments of God. Nobody who loves God goes to sin and rejoice in sinfulness. If I love my wife, which I do much, I have a solemn duty to make every effort not to commit any sin against her. If you love your husband, you have a solemn duty not to do anything sinful against her. And so is your neighbors. And your neighbor is not just somebody who lives next to your house, to where you live. It is a humanity in its entirety. Every human being that you see, you must love. And if we love all, then there will be no violence of any kind or wickedness or evil against them. But if you look around in the world, you see a lot of wickedness around in the world. The life that people live that does not reflect with the command and the word that you are receiving today. Just as the Father has loved me, I have also loved you, and abide in my love. That's verse 9 of John 15. And I want to touch on something that I said in the word the other day, explaining to you the power of God, why people do the things they do, even though they claim to believe in this Jesus Christ who is calling you to Him, asking you to abide in Him and abide in His love. And I use an example as I was telling that story, which may not make any sense to you, for many may be wondering, what is correlation and why is he talking about Ogugu Isoke in the story that I was telling you then? About how in my ancestry, in my genealogy, for thousands of years, as the clergy, the clan of priests who perform priestly duties of sanctification and divination, and in the prayers and in the word that you receive in the example of the old shrine that's been there for thousands of years, that has encroached and was killing people, causing mayhem in the community before they approached my ancestors to come to help them to tame the idol, the false god, and the evil spirit with which it operates among the people. It was so powerful that the neighbors were even going from neighboring town, going there to fall and even sacrifice themselves, and that is why there were many slaves and in the shrine, tending to the shrines and making sacrifices as the servants of Satan in the idol in that community. When people are oppressed by greater power of the world, the chiefs and the kings and the town people, the wealthy, To the point of threatening their life, they run to the shrine and throw themselves and surrender themselves to them. They believe in the false god at the time, and therefore nobody dare to touch any one of them or any of their property of which they are handing over to the idol. You might still be asking, why is he talking about this? If it makes sense to you, then it's now no longer a message that from coming from God, but you have to discern to see what is God trying to say to you in the word I am giving you in the story. You consider this to be more like a parable of an unbeliever and idol worshippers. So there were a lot of people who themselves believe in this idol, in this false God. They call it God, but it's not a God. There is one and only true God, Jehovah. One and only true God, Yahweh. I am who I am. His most holy name. The God that lives in heaven, which in the genealogy that I am explaining to you, because I am telling a story also about me for you to know who is in front of you. If you remember, in the book of Matthew chapter 1, the gospel started by telling genealogy of Jesus Christ. So that you know who Christ is and where he came from. And that is why I'm telling you the story, to know in the genealogy of priesthood from which that this body came. For there was something there before the Lord himself came and the Spirit to possess the body, to use it to show his power to the nations of the earth. But I want you now to understand the message that in the story of the shrine and the idol worshippers, who themselves deviate and worship other God, except the God that has made them and gave them life. What I want you to understand, how my ancestors went there and cast the idol, the God, the demon, and Satan and all his power, and forced it to go back